An interview with Michael Fauscette, building a customer-centric business with CXM.
Well, if you think about kind of the place we are today in dealing with customers, we've gotten to a point where companies really have to be much more aware because the customers expect so much more from companies than they used to, from brands, than what they used to expect. And they expect to have service delivered to them and interaction delivered to them in a much more, kind of social, open, transparent, and conversational way. So companies have started to step back and go, okay, I now need to make sure that my entire company is engaged in how we go to market with the customer, how we deal with the customer, how we service the customer, how, all the different touch points, and understand that my company, my whole company, is engaged in customer service, customer satisfaction. So from a strategy perspective, that's this high level, how do I provide a complete experience to my customer that at every interaction is a positive or not a negative. I mean, there are some things that need to be a positive and some things you just don't want to be negative, right?
Technologies for building customer engagement.
The other half of it is, okay, now that I've done that, what are the different kinds of technologies that I want to use to try to engage the customer in that experience, to make the experience better? And it could be, I need to provide support through social channels now. So maybe I want to tie, Facebook and Twitter, some kind of social networks and social media into my customer service system. So that might be one thing. Or it could be I want to deploy some method of pulling my customers together in a community, because in the community I can leverage that involvement, engagement in support, in marketing, and in sales, and have a way to not only provide great value to the customer, give them a capability to talk to each other, give them the capability to solve problems and issues, give them the capability to ask questions and perhaps find new products and services from my company that would help them. But I also have the capability in the opposite direction to get the voice of the customer inside my company so that I can give better service, so that I can adjust my marketing to be more effective, so that I can listen for sales opportunities, and so I can build better products and services. I mean, how powerful would it be if I could get the customers to tell me what products they want? Well, they do that. In the community, they would do that, and that then can be direct feedback to your process. So technology supports the strategy, and that's what you have to do. You have to align that and provide a way to deliver that customer experience at all those touch points. So the technology is a key piece of it, but the strategy is the first part. I mean, we have to really define that before we know what we want to use.
What is the role of customer communities in increasing customer engagement?
Communities serve several different functions for the company, and you have to look at this in two directions. First, what value can I deliver to the customer? In other words, what's in it for the customer to be in the community? And then what value can the company get back out of that by doing that? Because it's an investment, and you wouldn't make an investment if there wasn't a return in this more open social media, social web kind of world. That's the way that people want to look at this. I will engage with you if there's a reason for that, and if I get value, then I'll give you value back. That's the way that the social networks function, the way that social media functions. So the customer community gives you the capability to pull the customers together and help them facilitate a conversation so that from the customer perspective, they get an opportunity to help each other with problems. They get an opportunity to help each other with how-to kinds of things. They can ask questions. They have the opportunity in the community to generate answers that as a company you can use later, and they also help each other make decisions and ask questions that would help them make buying decisions in the future. So from the customer, they get a conversation that's facilitated with the brand, and obviously they're interested in it. That's the first step. If you're in somehow engaged, involved with the brand, then there's a reason I want to join your community, and if I get value out of it, I'll continue to do that.
What value do companies get from customer communities?
As a company, there are several places where you see a lot of value. One, of course, is just being able to take your call center service, customer service organization, and move it up a level so that a lot of the really simple questions are diffused and answered in the community. So, it might lower your call volume, or it might actually move your agents up a level so that they're providing much more critical service. So that's a value to the company. And then it also lets you capture that in the community. So what is in the community can become content for your knowledge base. So you can reuse it, so that you can use it to train. You can use it to, you could actually use it as an FAQ sort of on your website for customers to look at and get answers. So a lot of value in that relationship. Then if you move down the touch point, what's the next thing? Well, in marketing, what can how can you get value out of it from a marketing perspective? Well, just simply, you have all that wealth of knowledge in there first, so I can start to individualize in that situation, because I now know, you've told me what you like, what you want, what you're doing. You can see that in the community. So from a marketing perspective, there's opportunity to understand, there's opportunity to target more effectively. You can use that as a way to put information out into the community that helps with your message, helps reinforce your brand message, or helps diffuse some misperception in the marketplace. So the customer community gives a great opportunity there. And then, from a sales perspective, what better way to know when a customer wants to buy than when they tell you? And in the community, they're going to do that. So you need to closely tie that idea of listening to action, and in sales, that's it's a perfect opportunity to do that. Get a question that you can then answer and perhaps leverage that into increased revenue.
Using customer communities to build innovative products that customers want.
In the environment that companies exist in today, it's competition has become much tougher, and so building innovative products is really important. But it's not the only piece of it. Building an innovative product that nobody wants, okay, you don't stay in business that way. So, could I build innovative products by listening to my customers and understanding where their business problems are, where their needs are, and, product or service, it works the same for either. Can I do that and then get that information, the voice of the customer, into the hands of the people inside my company that want to use that? Now, you think of the old days, last year, of doing this. How do marketers do this? They did focus groups, they spent a lot of money, maybe they did surveys. So you have this tiny sample, and I use that to bet the next product. Is that really a way to ensure that I'm going to be successful? Today, I can open this up to a large part of my customer population, and not only can I listen, but I could actually ask questions if I wanted to, and define the next generation of my products and services in a way that are innovative, but they're innovative in the way that the customers are interested and want to tell you that they want to buy. Community is the key piece of it, because that's where you listen and where you can ask questions, and then tie that into your enterprise social network so that you can get that information all through your company and get everybody engaged in listening to the customer. That's really powerful.
What are the key considerations when selecting a customer community platform?
First of all, it's understand what you need. So, and I would say this with any software package, be very clear and define your requirements, because if you don't do that, then you're not going to meet your needs downstream. So that's the first thing. The second thing is pick a partner. It's a different type of relationship that you have in today's software world. You're talking service relationship, a long-term relationship. So I want a partner, not a vendor. I want to find a company that's stable, that has experience in what I'm trying to do, that has the capability to help me do what I'm trying to do. So, in communities, for example, I want to see, examples of successful communities. I want the vendor, the partner, to have best practices for me so they can help me. And I want them to have, services that help me successfully build this. How do I get a good community manager? What is a good community manager? And yes, the software has to, to provide the right value and the requirements and do all these things that I need. And it has to be able to be integrated into my environment. So can I tie it to my customer service system? Can I tie it into my marketing automation system? Can I tie it into sales? Can I get leads from one to the other? Can I get my knowledge base connected so that I can pull information out of it and reuse it? All those things are important. But in the end, it's really about the relationship, finding the right partner and the right solution and put those together. That's the way to be successful.
How important is simplicity and ease of engagement in a customer community?
I think the simple answer to that is it's very, very important because we've raised a generation, and by the way, that's not age-driven generation, that's a mindset of people that want everything to be simple up front and complex behind. In other words, I don't want to see the complexity. It can be as complex as it wants to be as long as I don't have to deal with it. And that's very different than the old enterprise software paradigm, which really was more about doing something. Here's the function, and they don't hide that behind any veneer. And for a community, you're trying to make it as easy as possible because remember, the network effect is a really interesting problem in building engagement. In other words, I want to join a community that has a lot of people in it, but I don't want to join a community that doesn't have a lot of people in it. But if I don't join it, it won't have a lot of people. So it's a problem. So it's got to be as easy as it can be. And at the same time, I have to know what the value is going to be and get that value very quickly, or I'm going to walk away from it. People have that mindset. You're right. Consumerization of IT. The social web has trained us to think this way, and that's just got to be a part of your customer experience. You have to think of it the same way they would. If it's easy and there's value, I'll do it.
Building a customer experience strategy with customer communities.
Today, if you're building a customer experience strategy, and frankly, if you're not, I'm worried about your business because that's extremely important in a world where customers will give you a quick test and then walk away if you don't meet their expectations. One of the key ways that you can reach them, service them, market to them, be more effective in engaging and build a conversation is through a customer community. I can't understand why you wouldn't do it. It's the way to get your customers engaged with your brand in a much more effective fashion, and you have all this value that you get from it, and you can deliver. So from my perspective, a customer community is a key part of a customer experience strategy.